Jamaica, we saw it fit to spotlight the lives, stories, and contributions of these nation builders who make up the PSOJ Hall of Fame. The PSOJ believes that Jamaica's true potential can only be realized together, and together we can make Jamaica a nation to be proud of, a place to live, work, and raise families.
Let's hear about his journey through the private sector.
I'm Richard Byles, President and Governor of the Bank of Jamaica. I went to the great college, Jamaica College, and I fell in love with economics in sixth form. Studied economics at university and saw myself as having a career in the public sector. I did for a long time until I went and did my master's in the UK, came back and got very interested in the stock market and started to invest whatever I had. My good friend Rita Humphreys is someone I met at a government agency, and she was always very encouraging of me to be in the private sector. On one occasion, I went on her behalf, Rita, to interview Morris Facey as chairman of the Pan Jamaican Investment Trust. The interview lasted for about a half an hour, and at the end of it, he advised me that he had read a document that I had written on Lidford Farms. Said he disagreed with the conclusions, but thought it was well read and well reasoned, and wanted to know if I'd join him and run the bank. I didn't know a lot about the bank, tell you the truth, but the bank was really small, so I had a good chance of learning quickly and not being destructive. So after a little hemming and hawing, I took the job. And 2 years later, the bank was pretty successful. He called me into his office and he said, Valerie and I, that's his wife, have discussed this and we have agreed you should be CEO of the whole group. Well, that was to my shock, because Pan Jam was a listed company and very substantial. And there were a number of other executives in the group who ran operations that was even bigger than the bank. But nonetheless, it was another twist and turn in my career that I didn't expect, but I always seized the opportunities. I took it to run the bank, and I'm taking it now to run the group. Spent 13 years with the group and transformed it from being scattered in the sense of having many small investments, most of which were not successful, to one that was more focused and very successful on the stock market. I then structured a deal where we would sell the life insurance company and the bank to Life of Jamaica, and I would go and run Life of Jamaica. Again, another twist and turn in my life that I never expected. Life insurance is as far from my personality as you can get, but opportunity knocked and I took the chance. Worked out very well, met some good people at Life of Jamaica Sagicor. Doddridge Miller, who just retired as the CEO of the Sagicor Group. And of course, our Danny Williams, who turned out to be a really, really great friend. More than a mentor, a friend, someone to emulate. Danny never sat me down and gave me a lot of advice, but just by what he had done in life and how he conducted himself, he was a role model that was just perfect. I have a lot of time and respect for that man. He's a great Jamaican. So I spent 13 years there and had a great time. Built the company. When I left, it was either the first or second largest company on the stock exchange. A very enjoyable 26 years in the private sector.
What's a significant milestone in your journey that you're proud of?
I'd say that when I was at Sagicor, one of the strategies that I pursued was acquisitions. Right? So we acquired the First Life and Pan Caribbean portfolios, and then we bought Blue Cross. That made the insurance company at Life of Jamaica into a very, very large and dominant insurance company. We bought Royal Bank of Canada operation in Jamaica, RBC, and that became Sagicor Bank. I'm particularly proud of those because they really pushed Sagicor to the frontier of being one of the largest financial groups in the island. And there's a lot of fun. Some challenges too, of course, because with every acquisition comes some pain. There are some things, some people that have to go. But then you're left with the challenge of building a team, motivating them, inspiring them, and setting them on a path of growth. So I enjoyed both sides, acquiring, the molding, and the sending off onto a path of growth. I enjoyed all of that very much.
Every generation brings new hopes and ambitions. Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
Private sector advancing with power, purpose, and drive, growing stronger, growing together, backed by the PSOJ, or advocate and champion. Respected leadership powered by Jamaica's most impactful companies. Our members connect, collaborate, and shape policies that drive growth from advocacy to action. Be part of a network of the best and become even better. Join the PSOJ today. Visit www.psoj.org to sign up or email membership at psoj.org. The PSOJ. Great minds, great businesses, better together. What were some of the challenges you faced and how did you navigate them?
Yeah, well, people are, I don't know many entrepreneurs who tell this, but people are a big challenge because it's through people that you get things done. You can't do it yourself. And if you're not able to motivate people to get it done, then it doesn't happen. I'm very much an introverted person, but in the job I had to be the opposite. I had to blend with all of these agents. I had to motivate them. I had to make them feel comfortable in my leadership, but also amongst the administrative and technical staff, show them respect and give them good, strong leadership. I had to orient myself into more of a people person than I was naturally. The role model of Danny Williams was crucial because I saw how Danny dealt with everybody. If you were a CEO of a group or you were a clerk in a company, he dealt with you as a person, as a human being, always had advice, always had time for you. So that was a very good learning experience. I treasure that very much.
What inspired you to pursue your career?
Well, my career has been one of zigzags. If you had asked me when I was studying at university, I would say that I would have joined the civil service and worked my way up as an economist. That was always a a hope and a wish and an ambition. But it didn't turn out that way. It went this way, that way, private sector, Panjam, LOJ, Sagicor. And the lesson that I've learned from that is the best plans that people have get changed. And what is important is to know that when opportunity knocks, that you answer that door, you open it. Because if you leave it because you have a preconceived idea of where you want to be, sometimes you leave behind real great growth opportunities. So at every turn, for me to end up running the largest life insurance company and the largest financial group in Jamaica was never an ambition of mine. I kind of stumbled into it. And my philosophy really has been, whatever I'm doing, do it well. And that will take care of the future. I often tell people that I admire Tiger Woods as a golfer. He's my generation. And when you play championship golf, it's played over 4 days, 72 holes. And each hole is, let's say, on the average, four shots. So if you are on the 7th hole on the first day, you're not thinking about the prize, you're not thinking about the money, the glory. You're thinking about the shot that you have to play today. And that is how I have kind of run my life, that whatever I have to do today, do it to the best of my ability. Guess what? People are watching and they're seeing that you've done a good job, and that opens the door for you in the future. That has been my path, very zigzag, but open the door to opportunity, do your job well, and before you know what happens, you are in a very successful place.
Is there a piece of advice that you've held on to through the years?
I don't know that I was given advice, but kind of attitude that I adopted was to be open, not to enter with preconceived ideas, to listen. There are always people there who want to help. And if you listen to them, if you can identify them, they can be very helpful to you in analyzing and navigating your way through. So when I joined Sagicor or LOJ, here comes a company with maybe 600 people that you don't know. In fact, you were competing against them before. So you're now joining the enemy camp, and you have to be very careful. And I think that my philosophy was be open, just listen, learn, try and find who is friendly, who is not, and navigate your way through there. Whatever you're doing, do it well, do it with honesty, do it transparently, and guess what? It works out.
When were you inducted into the PSOJ Hall of Fame, and how did that experience feel?
Oh, flattered, to say the least, and very humbled that, I would have a photograph hanging in the PSOJ Hall beside Morris Spacey and Oliver Clark and Carlton Alexander, just to name a few. So very humbling. That night when it was done, I think I was numb all the way through. I don't know how I got through the speech, but I did, because it's a fabulous honor, and it's one of the most valuable honors that I've ever had.
How do you think your work has helped the private sector grow in Jamaica?
Well, I hope it has. 13 successful years at Panjam built it into a very stable, very strong, very successful corporation. 13 years at Sagicor, again, built it into the largest, I think, today, financial group. But also, I think my contribution to nation building through EPOC is very, very precious to me. It's a role that I instinctively gravitated to, because it was a blend of my commitment to the private sector being successful, as well as my economics background. So in playing that role as co-chairman of EPOC, which I did for 2 or 3 years, I don't quite remember, it was a very powerful experience, and in more ways than one, because it It put me a lot in the public's eye, no doubt created some friends and some enemies, but I think in the end it worked out fine for Jamaica. It's a tremendous accomplishment for this country that we took 10 years to do what we did, but did it. For Jamaica to be committed so strongly to doing something so difficult for 10 years shows that we can do anything that we put our minds to.
What moment has shaped your views on leadership during your career?
Well, certainly my relationship with Danny would have had a powerful impact. To just treat everybody, no matter what your status is, as a human being. That's where everything starts, right? This hierarchical outlook on people is old-time, outmoded and unproductive. So my experience at Bank of Jamaica in the last 5 years has been very fruitful for me. It's come at a time in my career when I can relax more. I think I've accomplished what I want in the private sector. I've accomplished what I want personally in financial terms. And I can now relax and contribute to country wholesomely. And I've enjoyed that period at Bank of Jamaica. And it's allowed me to really implement a people policy of respect for professionalism and meritocracy. And I'm sure that I learned that in the private sector, but now have the opportunity to practice it in the public sector.
Every generation brings new hopes and ambitions. Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
Private sector advancing with power, purpose, and drive, growing stronger, growing together, backed by the PSOJ or advocate and champion. Respected leadership powered by Jamaica's most impactful companies. Our members connect, collaborate, and shape policies that drive growth from advocacy to action. Be part of a network of the best and become even better. Join the PSOJ today. Visit www.psoj.org to sign up or email membership at psoj.org. The PSOJ. Great minds, great businesses, better together.
In audio.
One thing you're especially grateful for right now?
People would say you're lucky in life, and I would say that I have been lucky. How is luck created? Or I should say, is luck created or does it just happen like lightning striking? I think a bit of both. I think that Morris Facey took to me 30, 40 years ago was a piece of luck. That I had worked so hard on the study that he read on Lidford Farms wasn't luck, it was hard work. And it created for me, so to speak, luck. So I think people who are lucky in life are lucky because they have worked hard at stuff that people see and respect, as well as, maybe you have a personality that people take to. Having a good personality, which doesn't mean that you have to be anything more than pleasant, courteous, respectful, as well as doing your hard work, I think lays a foundation for potential success.
How do you maintain a work-life balance?
Not very well, I don't think. I was a workaholic. I worked Monday to Friday and Saturday. And if my wife didn't know, I would go to the office on Sunday too. So she played a big role in raising the family and keeping it all together. And for that, I'm forever grateful. We now have a wonderful family, 2 big sons and 2 grandchildren with more on the way. And a lot of that is because of the contribution that she made to the family. Now I have a little bit more time. I relax a little bit more and spend time with the family, both my sons as well as with my grandchildren. And it's a good balance, I think, that I have. I do have a little traveling too, so I allow her to tell me I must travel, and I do that.
What's a moment in your career that always makes you smile?
There are so many. But just the thought that I, who was a university radical, as was so many persons in the early 70s, could become the CEO of 2 major corporations in the private sector and become the governor of the Bank of Jamaica. It does bring a little smile now and then.
Is there an aspect of your upbringing that has significantly influenced how you approach your work?
My father was a stickler for education. He used to watch my grades. And I remember there was a period when I slumped off and came maybe middle of the class. And he said, I tell you what, I promise you, I'm going to give you a trip to the United States if you come in the top 3. Back in those days, a trip to the United States, which was, this was like in the early 60s, was a big thing. And I did it. I came second, and so I got the trip. So he always said, education, which he had just a secondary school level. He went to Ulmer's. He always pushed me. I had to go to university. I had to do a postgraduate degree. Because he felt that that was a pathway to success in life. And I think that's absolutely true. And I would give that advice to every young person today. Get your education. It's insurance against poverty. You can be successful with it. It is the foundation for you to have a great life in the future.
Every generation brings new hopes and ambitions. Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
private sector advancing with power, purpose, and drive, growing stronger, growing together, backed by the PSOJ, or Advocate and Champion. Respected leadership powered by Jamaica's most impactful companies. Our members connect, collaborate, and shape policies that drive growth from advocacy to action. Be part of a network of the best and become even better. Join the PSOJ today. Visit www.psoj.org to sign up or email membership at psoj.org. The PSOJ. Great minds, great businesses, better together.
I know you.